Hello there, French people. I mean, you will be able to call yourselves French, at least in cafes and restaurants, if you master today's lesson. Those of you guys who are with me from the very beginning, who listen to me talking about my airport experience, transport experience, getting to the hotel and the hotel itself, well, you can call yourselves French. Almost. Those of you guys who are just tuning in my little story about my trip to France, well, I recommend to you that you go back to my previous videos, they're somewhere there or there, and watch all of them that preceded this one. This one is the most delicious one yet, I'm free to say. Well, anyhow, I will continue my story now after I arrived at the hotel, got some rest, got up the following morning, and with the biggest smile ever, I headed to the nearest cafe. I decided to go to the nearest, as I just said, nearest and coziest cafe around to have traditional French breakfast. And yes, you're right, I ordered a croissant. We say croissant, but croissant is the right way to say it. And a coffee, and it's café. So, café is the restaurant, I mean, as the place, and café as coffee. It's a different thing. So, anyhow, when I entered, the waitress greeted me with good day, good morning, it's the same, and it's bonjour. And I, of course, replied, oh, good morning to you too. Bonjour à vous aussi. Oh yes, before I continue, it's very important for me to tell you about the types of coffee there in French cafes. So, you have café, and café is just plain coffee, but very strong one. Then you have, oh yes, you have café au lait. I know you know this one, and that's the most popular coffee in all of France. It's basically coffee with steamed milk poured into it, and it's almost always just wonderful. And basically you will sometimes get the coffee served in a pot or in a cup, and then a pitcher of steamed milk to pour in as you please. Then you have café crème. Café crème, as you can tell, it's coffee served in a large cup, but it's with hot cream. Yummy. Then you have café décaféiné. Café décaféiné is basically decaf, so it's decaffeinated coffee, but you will still need to tell them if you want milk that's lait or cream, which is crème, as I just said. And then you have café noisette, and that's espresso, but it's with just a dash of cream in it. Then you have, oh yeah, café américain. Café américain is filtered coffee, so it's similar to traditional American coffee. And then finally you have café léger, espresso again, but they double the water for this one. So now, when you're the expert on types of coffee in France, you can enter any cafe without being afraid that you will get something that you didn't order. And now, let's go back to my experience in a cafe. And that's when I sat down, the waitress is serveuse, approached me and said, hello, what would you like to drink? And that sounds like this. Bonjour, qu'est-ce que vous voudriez boire? Qu'est-ce que vous voudriez boire? And then she asked me, what would you like to eat? And that sounds like this. Qu'est-ce que vous voudriez manger? Qu'est-ce que vous voudriez manger? And then I replied, can you bring me some coffee and croissants, please? And it sounds like this. Pouvez-vous me faire un café et des croissants, s'il vous plaît? Pouvez-vous me faire un café et des croissants, s'il vous plaît? You know, when I smelled the fresh coffee and the croissants, I immediately got my appetite, and I can say those were the most delicious croissants I had in my life, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Speaking of the cafe, here are some words that might help you feel more French-like. So, you have, for example, good day or good morning, that's bonjour. bonjour, we had that one. Then you have, for example, breakfast, and that's petit déjeuner. Petit déjeuner. Then food is nourriture. Nourriture. And drink is boisson. Boisson. Sandwich is very similar, but it's sandwich. Sandwich.